He said he was fine. He said he was coming home, but Bryce Laspisa never made it there. On the morning of August 30th, 2013, a bright red Toyota Highlander was found overturned near a lake in rural California. Inside the driver's wallet, phone, and laptop. But the driver, 19-year-old college student Bryce Laspisa, was gone. No footprints, no body, no sign of a struggle. Just one question that still haunts everyone who's heard this story. What happened to Bryce that night? Bryce Laspisa was, by all accounts, the kind of kid every parent hopes for. He was 19 years old, studying industrial and graphic design at Sierra College in Rocklin, California. He was creative, funny, and outgoing, the kind of guy who made friends easily. He had a close relationship with his parents, Karen and Michael, who lived several hours away in Laguna Niguel. He also had a loving girlfriend, Kim, and a tight circle of college friends. When the fall semester started in August 2013, Bryce returned to campus like any normal student. He seemed excited to see his friends, ready to dive into another year of college life. But within days, people began to notice. Something was off. Friends later said that Bryce had been acting strangely, sleeping less, drinking heavily, and behaving in unpredictable ways. He started staying up all night playing video games and seemed increasingly detached. He told his roommate, Sean Dixon, that he'd taken Vyvanse, a stimulant prescribed for ADHD, even though Bryce didn't have a prescription. Vyvanse can keep you awake for hours, make you euphoric or paranoid. Within a few days, he was barely sleeping, drinking vodka like water, and sending odd messages to friends and his girlfriend. On August 28th, Bryce suddenly told Kim he wanted to break up. No fight, no reason, just a cold, emotionless statement. "You'd be better off without me." Kim was confused. She said he didn't seem drunk, but he looked exhausted and not himself. Concerned, she took his car keys to stop him from driving. That's when Bryce called his mom. Bryce told his mother, Karen, that everything was fine, that Kim was just overreacting. He convinced her to tell Kim to give him his keys back. Kim hesitated, but eventually did. Bryce hugged her goodbye, got into his red Toyota Highlander, and drove off into the night. It was 11:30 p.m. He told everyone he was heading back to his apartment. But he never went home. Instead, Bryce started driving south, away from campus, toward his parents' home, hours away. When his parents woke up the next morning, they had a voicemail from Bryce. He said he was fine and that he'd call them later, but something in his voice felt off. And then, the strange part began. By early morning, phone records showed Bryce had driven over 350 kilometers, but he wasn't home yet. His parents assumed he'd stopped to rest. Around 9 a.m., they received a call, not from Bryce, but from a stranger. It was a man named Christian who worked at a service station in Buttonwillow, California, about 3 hours from Bryce's home. Christian said Bryce had stopped there in the middle of the night because his car had run out of gas. He'd sold him a small can of fuel. And Bryce had been polite but distant, like he wasn't fully there. But what's bizarre is what happened next. Over the next 9 hours, Bryce never left Buttonwillow. He just sat in his car, parked on the side of the road. Christian, the station worker, noticed this and called Bryce's parents again, concerned that something was wrong. Karen and Michael, panicking now, spoke to Bryce directly. He sounded calm, even cheerful. He said, "I'm fine. I'm going to drive home now." That was at 12:30 p.m., but hours later, he still hadn't arrived. CCTV footage from later that day shows Bryce's car heading south, toward his parents' city, just like he said he would. It looked like he was finally going home. At 2 a.m. on August 30th, something happened. A security camera near Castaic Lake, a remote area north of Los Angeles, recorded Bryce's car again. Less than 2 hours later, a truck driver spotted a red Toyota Highlander on its side near the lake's access road. The car had plunged down a steep embankment and flipped. It looked like the driver had gone straight off the road, intentionally or not. Inside the car, police found Bryce's wallet, phone, and laptop neatly placed on the seat. His clothes were there too, but Bryce was gone. There were no footprints leading away, no signs of blood, no struggle, just a broken rear window and a complete mystery. When deputies arrived, they assumed Bryce might have walked to get help. But as hours turned into days and days into weeks, that theory faded fast. Search dogs traced his scent from the car to a nearby truck stop, then to the edge of Castaic Lake. And there, the trail vanished. Divers searched the lake for days, but found nothing. Helicopters, thermal drones, hundreds of volunteers all came up empty. It was as if Bryce had walked into the dark and disappeared. Some theories say he may have been suicidal, that he crashed his car intentionally and wandered off. But if that were true, why bring your wallet, your laptop, your phone? Why drive for 1,000 kilometers over nearly 36 hours without sleeping only to vanish a few miles from home? Theory 1. Mental breakdown or stimulant-induced psychosis. Many believe the combination of Vyvanse, alcohol, and no sleep triggered a psychotic episode. He might have become paranoid or disoriented and fled into the wilderness, confused and afraid. But if that's true, why was there no body? The terrain was harsh but not endless. Search teams combed every meter. Theory 2. Suicide by drowning. Some think Bryce jumped into Castaic Lake, but divers found no trace, and his scent trail ended before reaching the water. Theory 3. He started a new life. Others believe Bryce may have staged his disappearance, that he wanted to leave everything behind. But his bank accounts, phone, and social media were never used again. Not once in over a decade. Theory 4. Foul play. This one haunts people the most. Could someone have picked him up after the crash? Or is he met with foul play along that dark, rural stretch? There's no proof, but also no evidence to say it didn't happen. Bryce's parents have never stopped searching. Every year, they return to Castaic Lake to leave flowers and prayers. They've kept the same phone number since the day he disappeared, in case one day Bryce calls. In interviews, his mother often says, "We just want to know he's alive, even if he doesn't want to come home." But more than a decade later, there's still no trace. No clues, no closure. Just the haunting mystery of a boy who vanished on his way home. He wasn't running from danger. He wasn't lost in the mountains. He was a 19-year-old boy trying to find his way home. The disappearance of Bryce Laspisa remains one of the most baffling unsolved cases in modern America. His red Toyota Highlander was found, but Bryce, the boy behind the wheel, was never seen again. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more mysteries that the world still can't explain. Because sometimes, the scariest stories are the ones that never end.